Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead and Stocks to Watch for Monday, the 8th of October. And let's get ready for the week ahead, the 8th of October through the 12th of October. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. This courtesy of the Trade Exchange, the news service. Let's go ahead and look. Not too much news coming out this weekend, actually, kind of quiet after that downdraft in the markets that passed this week. We have a little bit of news out here from PTCT, BP. MC, LOXO, KALA. They got a reported stake of 14% by RA Capital. Alt was climbing after hours after the Friday close. CMTA did a 200 million shelf there. IDXG, a 50 million S3 file. That's an offering. We had some top insider purchases after the bell on Friday. LMRK, ACRS, LGCY, STON, and APPN. Also with insider purchasing there. As far as syndicate news and offerings, VNRX filed Form S3, 10 million shares. PAVM filed Form S3. ESQ filed Form S3, 75 mixed security shelf. BLCM filed a 42 for B5, 60 million of common stock offering on that one. AINC filed Form S3, 1.4 million offering, 150 million mixed shelf. Over the weekend, this came out. Apple, Amazon news. Homeland Security backs Apple, Amazon in the denial of that Chinese spy chip infiltration. So that news coming out over the weekend. All right, let's get ready for the week ahead. Tomorrow, Monday, the 8th, you have a U.S. Holiday, Columbus Day. The bond market is closed. Equities will be trading, but the bond market will be closed. Thanksgiving is also going on in Canada, so their markets will be closed Monday. So you could see some lighter volume for Columbus Day in the U.S. markets. As far as economic information, really not much on our plate for Monday. Once again, this calendar courtesy of the Trade Exchange. The Tuesday, we have a bunch of Fed speak coming out, 10 o'clock a.m. Fed speak Charles Evans. Then we get some more Fed speak John Williams, but that's not till 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. And then you can see the Fed speak coming out for the rest of the week. As far as any major economic information for the week. Everything is pretty straightforward for this week. Nothing out of the ordinary. Friday, we had the jobs number come out. They were expecting Friday 185,000. We got 134,000. So expecting 185 and we got 134. And as far as earnings for the week ahead, this courtesy of Earnings Whisper. Nothing really on Monday for earnings. We don't really get into any major earnings until about Wednesday. Fastenal, FAST will be reporting. We have an airline reporting Thursday, DAL for Delta. And then this Friday kicks off for earnings season with the banks. We have JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, PNC, and First Republic Bank all reporting on Friday before the bell. So that will be the kickoff of the earnings season. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the action that happened this week in the markets. We had the VIX really moving up a lot this week, up 22%. Now we have about a 14, 15 handle on the VIX. It's not Armageddon yet, but kind of some warning shots out there. Basically the markets sold off. Interest rates moved up to a level that brought the market down this week. That's basically what it was. The TLT was moving down, and when the TLT moves down, that means interest rates move up. So got to a point where folks are taking some money off the table. Brazil, the ETF, had a good week. It was up almost 9% for the week. Energies were up for the week, 1.87. We had the OIH also up 1.75%. Banks were getting some buying this week. Oil, the USO, the ETF for WTI crude oil was up over a little bit over 1%. Then to the downside, we had everything else, right? We had big move down in the XBI, down about 6% for the week. The retail sector down about 5% for the week. China FXI down about 5% for the week. The IBB was down about 4.5% for the week. IWC down 4%. XLY, which is the consumer discretionary, down about 4%. The SMH, the semiconductors, down again, down about 4% for the week here. IWM, the small caps, that came down about almost 4% for the week. TLT, like we said, as the TLT moves down, rates move up, and usually equities do not fare well when the rates are moving up. The NASDAQ was down about 3%. XHB was down about 3% for the week. And so the SPY itself, the S&P 500, down about 1% for the week there on the S&P 500. The Dow Jones itself, down just fractionally for the week. The Dow has been actually a little bit stronger than most of the other markets. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those markets. Let's look at them on weeklies. We're always looking at stuff on the dailies. Let's look at the SMH on the weekly chart here. So we have breached below the 10 SMA. Now, a lot of people are in belief that, if you're above the 10 SMA, you have a lot of institutional support. So right now on the SMH, we are below the 10 SMA, that light blue line you see there. The IWM also breached below the 10 SMA on the weekly chart, and on heavy volume too. IWC also, IBB down below it, XBI also, SPY, the SPY right around the 10 SMA on the weekly chart here for the SPY. If we look at the Qs, they have also breached the 10 SMA on the weekly chart. The Dow Jones, which I said held up a little bit better than the other markets, still holding above the 10 SMA on the weekly chart here. Let's go ahead and look at the SPY on the daily chart now. This is the first time in a long time that the SPY has been down here around that 50, the solid blue line you see here around the 50 SMA. Having these sell-offs, people are not used to it. We've been kind of climbing all this way, sporadic drops down, but, very light volume movement down, and now all of a sudden we're starting to get some real institutional volume perking up here. All right, as you can see here, we're up at 105 million and higher on Thursday there. So, the institutions, distribution going on. So we're going to have to really pay attention to that. Now, maybe we're a little bit oversold for the short term on the SPY. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But for right now, you'd have to say the ball is in the Bears' court, and for them to lose it here as far as the Bears. I mean, they're threatening to break this 50 SMA. Are they going to allow the Bulls to step up and turn us back up, or are they going to keep the pressure on and keep pushing us down here on the indices? So, and I guess that's going to depend on what the interest rates do for the rest of the week going on and all that Fed speak. Are they going to be raising rates in December? All right, that's when the next meeting is for the Fed. It's in December. Many think that they are going to be raising rates. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the best stocks for the week, and then we'll get into some of the worst stocks for the week. And we start out with Eli Lilly for the week. This was up 7% for the week. SCHW, Charles Schwab, was up about 5% for the week, a little bit of a bounce back there. Some of the refiners were getting some buying this week. Phillips 66 was up about 5%. VLO was up about 3%. Usually when oil is moving up, the refiners move down, but for this week they were moving up in the refining space. ATRS, this is a biotech stock, was up 13% this week. The FDA approved one of their products on ATRS. PRTK also got FDA approval for one of their drugs, up 20% for the week on PRTK. PTIE, they had an update a conference call updating their businesses and product pipeline. So this one moved up about 31% this week on PTIE. Might be one to watch going. HSGX had an up week this week. They were up about 11% for the week on that one. VTVT, they had positive news from the FDA on VTVT. Stock popped, I should say, over 300% on VTVT. So a very good week there. NBEV held in there this week, up about 58% for the week, and actually held up pretty well on Friday also. So NBEV might be on watch for next week. LYL, this stock moved up 94% for the week on LYL. TRPX also moved up 46% for the week. VXRT, this stock popped 78% for the week. This one had a flu data vaccine, and I guess they got approved, so this stock was up 78% for the week. AMRN held in there this week, up 22%. CRMD, small little under $1 name, actually above $1 now, up 34% for the week. The OIH itself was up about 2% for the week. Halliburton climbed about 4% for the week. Schlumberger popped about 3% for the week. LCA had a very nice week, up 16% on this one. NTGN, this stock popped 28% for the week. PYX, now this one is involved possibly with cannabis, a tobacco and a cannabis stock. So this stock was up 23% for the week on PYX. And then STZ, Constellation Brands, who did that investment in IGC, about $4 billion. This stock had earnings this week, and so they pushed it up about 4% on Constellation Brands. Now we'll get into some of the worst stocks. So some of the worst stocks for the week, starting out with our friend GoPro. Even with their Hero 7 camera, stock dropped 13% for the week for GoPro. Tesla, not down too much for the week, but down again, down about 1% for the week. But Tesla looks like it's pushing on that 200 SMA. It's been here before; they've held it before, but if that breaks again, you could see further downside here in Tesla. The 200 SMA on the weekly right now is at 262.50, and we're at 261.95. So we're actually breaching that 200 SMA on Tesla on the weekly. Just wanted to show you that. AEO was down 10% for the week. DECK also dropping. A lot of the retailers having a bad week that passed, down 8% on Deckers. SKX, Skechers, down about 7% for the week. BBY also dropped about 9% for the week. Under Armour had a bad week, down about 8% on Under Armour. Nike also fell about 5% for the week. Amazon makes our list as one of the worst stocks this week, down 6% on Amazon. Like I said, the airlines were down a lot this week. We have American Airlines down 12%. We had UAL also dropping 6%, and DAL, who has earnings later in the week coming up, down about 9% for the week. OMER, marginal difference from its phase 2. So OMER, marginal difference, stock dropped about 43% for the week. This past week, GWPH, which is one of the components of the MJ, the marijuana ETF, down 12%. They're doing an offering. Cala also doing an offering this past week, down 22% for the week. EPZM also doing an offering. Stock dropped 15% for the week. SRPT, positive data came out for its muscular dystrophy, SRPT, but the stock dropped 16% on SRPT. ACST, They did an offering, ACST. Stock dropped 8% on that one, an offering coming out. CYTK. Phase 2 did not meet primary and secondary endpoints for CYTK. This stock down 13% for the week. ARWR, this stock dropped 23%. SFIX, after their earnings, has just been straight down 40% for the week. AMD, making our list, down about 11% for the week. KMPH, stock dropped 45% for the week on KMPH. Pepsi had earnings the past week, down 5% for the week. Costco also had their earnings, down about 7% for the week. And LEN also reported earnings the week that passed. Stock dropped 4% for the week. So that's some of your worst stocks for the week. Just some tidbits that I wrote down and I'll pass on to you. We have JP Morgan says that usually 5% is the tipping point for rates. We're still below that, but the Fed is threatening to raise rates again in December. So we'll see how that goes. But JP Morgan says about 5% is the tipping point. The 10-year is up to about 3.24, 3.22%. The small caps took a hit this week. NASDAQ down 3% this week. We also have a war of words still going on between China and the United States over the tariffs. We had a week that oil moved up. David Einhorn, who is a hedge fund manager, I guess, of Greenlight Capital. He cut his stake. He had recently cut his stake in Apple, and then he sold the remaining shares of Apple. But you still have Warren Buffett there in Apple. David Einhorn also coming out and saying that he is short on Tesla. So a couple of things for David Einhorn there. This past week, some things that I wrote down. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stocks I'll be watching. I'll keep it quick. I know a lot of folks are watching football or celebrating in Canada, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian viewers. Some stocks I'll have on watch. AFMD. Now, this one had a big pop up to $7, and now it's pulling back. Now, I am a day trader and swing trader. So right now, I'm going to show you some day trading stocks, and if something looks interesting as a swing, I'll mention that also. My service does day trading and swing trading. Right now, I'd say I'd be leaning towards the day trading. You don't want to hold stuff too much too many stocks or positions overnight right now with the market a little bit on shaky ground. But AFMD has popped up above 7. It's been holding above the gap up here, the gap support. So AFMD will be on watch. AGRX, now kind of a small, obscure name, one of these under 50-cent names. Now, I normally do not trade these, but a lot of these small little names have been popping up. As you can see in the after hours, it was moving up above 50 cents, AGRX. So maybe one to watch if you like those under $1 names. Alt was moving up into the close on Friday, and then after hours, ALT. They had recently done a 1 for 30 reverse split, and by a reverse split, I mean that they've taken shares out of the market, so they've making the float tighter here. So 11.9 million shares came into this one on Friday. That'll be on watch. AMMA, once again, an under 50-cent name, 4.9 million shares, still holding below the 200 SMA, which is up there at about 50 cents. In the after hours, they got it up to about 41 cents. So AMMA will be on watch. AMRS, nice candle here, 1.2 million shares, has that 850 mark. Be watching this one either for a red to green or a possible break of that 850 level on AMRS. Next one up is Any, another one of these under 50-cent names. Could possibly want to turn the corner. It's above the 50 SMA. Watch that 40-cent area on ANY. 3D, what is this thing? 3D Sphere Corporation. So keep an eye on that. APC could be a possible swing trade here. Has that $70 number up ahead. If it can get up over, say, 70.25 on APC, this one could be a possible swing trade. Oil sector has been pretty strong. ATRS basing under that $4 area. Friday, 1.6 million shares. So ATRS, BLPH, they popped this one. Maybe trying to fill that gap. Maybe shorts are going to come in and cover on this one. 1.4 million shares. Here's the action on Friday. Got up to about that $1.25 area. BLPH, keep that one on watch. CRMD basing under this $1.40 area, 6.2 million shares. Another one to watch is EARS under 50 cents right now. If it gets up over that 50-cent spot, we had a recent high back here of 51 cents. So you might want to wait for the break of 52 cents on EARS. Edge had a nice Friday. 2 million shares came into Edge on this name. Let's look at the weekly real fast. Had this big drop down Edge. It's been basically flatlining, doing nothing, but they're starting to turn it back up. So not a favorite, but keep an eye on Edge if you like that. FNJN, actually through all the market selling, this one holding up okay. Has that 475 area up ahead on FNJN. This is actually an American company. So volume was about 400,000 shares. But if it gets up over this 475, you might see some continuation there. This little GTXI was popping up on Friday, then kind of gave it all back. Over 49 million shares came into the name on Friday. So once again, not a pretty chart, not in love with this, but it might want to make a turn here. KL and a gold stock that I'm watching. This is a Canadian company for a possible swing trade if we can get back over that $20 area and the 50 SMA, which is the dark blue line you see there. LEVB was making a move on Friday, getting some volume, 1.5 million. On this one, you have that 550 area up ahead. Keep an eye on that. MBI, possible swing trade here. Insurance, property, casual, with rates moving up, sometimes you get moves up in these insurance companies. So $11 looks like the number it needs to get above on MBI. Volume could be a little bit stronger, so I'll have that one on watch. MHLD, this one I think is doing strategic alternatives, right? MHLD, so it popped up on Friday, 3.6 million shares, so maybe they're looking to make a deal or something like that. Got as high as 362 on Friday, so keep an eye on that one. NIHD actually holding up pretty well here, 1.8 million shares. We have that number 6 up ahead, so 605, $6 on NIHD. Keep that one on watch. Telecom services. NVAX held up the past week, 8.2 million shares Friday, holding above that $2 area, holding above the 5 EMA here, the yellow line you see on my chart. So keep an eye on that. PETX, kind of coiling here right now on PETX. We could drop this down a little bit better, but I'd say, maybe over $5.90, $6 on this PETX. Volume is very light right now, though, 137,000 shares. This QTT, now this is a China name, big pop into the close here. Not sure what was going on here, but a big move up. Caught my scanners on Friday, so keep this one on watch. QTT maybe starting, recent IPO, maybe starting to turn the corner here on QTT. Has that $8 area up ahead. SGH, big expanding volume here on SGH, 7.3 million shares, popped up, semiconductor name. So keep an eye on this one, SGH. Not sure the backstory on that one. Trove getting some big volume on Friday, 14 million shares. They popped it up to about $1.05 or so. So keep an eye on that one. Maybe it wants to yield a day trade. VKTX, this thing had popped up to $24. Now it's been kind of quietly moving down. You see the battle going on here around 1550, the the 20 SMA for this stock. So keep an eye on this one. Maybe they want to turn it back up and bounce it. VKTX, VLRX had 2 million shares came into this one. We have that $1.60 up ahead. We're right at that $1.50 where we closed. So VLRX might be one to watch. VTGN, after pushing up over 225, we pulled it back to about the 5 EMA here. So I'll be watching this one to see if it wants to turn around. Also watching VXRT. A couple of nice pops recently, up over $7 there on that one. 3.5 million shares. Here's the intraday chart of it. And then lastly, let's look at VTVT. We'll take a look at this one. So we had this big move up to $6 on VTVT. 27 million shares came into the name on Friday on the downdraft here, but we're still holding above 250, and we're still holding above the 5 EMA on VTVT. So keep an eye on that one. So a couple of swing trades there, not many with the market conditions right now. Have to say I'm mostly leaning towards day trading for the week ahead, and then when the market quiets down, be looking to put on some more swing trades. As far as the SPY itself, keep an eye on the SPY. We're going to be watching that 50 SMA. The low on the SPY for Friday was 286.22. All right, so keep an eye on that 286.22. If they want to break that down, maybe we're going to get a test of this 100 SMA on the daily chart. All right, and then some other levels to watch. So that 286.22. Then you want to watch the 50 SMA, which is around 287.57. That blue line you see there, and then up above that, we'll have to see if the bulls can get us back over that 288.50 spot on the SPY. All right, and then you see the 5 EMA and my 13 EMA up ahead. So that's pretty much it. That's the stocks for the week ahead. Every night we do a video, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and also on the weekends we do a let's get ready for the week ahead. Or if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like these videos, please hit the thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, hit that comments down below. And if you're interested in my service, down in the description box below is a link to my service if you'd like to check it out. It's ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com. Have a good day trading Monday, and we'll be back with another video tomorrow night for Tuesday. Have a great day.